The Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, is the National Intelligence and Security Service of the United States. Founded on July 26, 1908, the FBI was constitutionalized by the U.S. General Attorney. A small group of newly qualified federal investigators were to report directly to the Chief Examiner at the Department of Justice. 1 year later, the Office of the Chief Examiner was renamed to the Bureau of Investigation, and in 1935 became the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The FBI's primary goal is to defend and protect the United States, essentially working as a counter-terrorism, counterintelligence, and criminal investigation agency. The FBI's Special Weapons and Tactics Officers, otherwise known as SWAT, are highly specialized agents trained in intervention techniques in high-risk events such as hostage and terrorist attacks. SWAT teams are considered incredibly versatile and can be used in various types of operations. So naturally, after the reactivation of Team Rainbow in 2015, 4 FBI SWAT agents were recruited due to their high level of expertise in the fight against global terrorism. These special agents are codenamed Ash, Thermite, Castle, and Pulse.
When I was little, my Savta taught me that silence was a woman's best garment. But I have to admit, I never really took her advice to heart.
ELIZA Cohen, codenamed Ash, is an attacking operator in Team Rainbow. Raised in Israel, her mother is a renowned Jewish political activist and professor, and her father is a Palestinian professor in Middle Eastern studies. Along with Hebrew, she is fluent in English, Arabic, French, and Greek. Excelling in mathematics and physics, she earned a degree in structural engineering at Tel Aviv University. After enlisting in the Israeli Defense Force, Ash underwent a rigorous training for 22 months in the Elite Air Force unit, where she served for 5 years. Military service acted as an escape from family tension and appealed to her ordered and focused personality. She welcomed the high-risk, high-reward situations, as she was a quick thinker and her aggressive style put her in advantage. Later, Ash transferred to the FBI through an international law enforcement exchange program, and using her qualifications and experience, was able to develop specialized equipment and advanced demolition tactics. She prefers not to discuss her personal life with others, and seems to hold some sort of resentment from her past. This may be why she is so cautious and does not have too many close friends. Her colleagues best describe her as intense, maybe a little too serious, and she loves being right. Often during debriefs she will dwell on her performance. With an extremely overcritical persona, it's not only exhausting on her mental well-being, but it can also be draining on her team. What she needs to realize is these situations require teamwork, and she must learn to trust her team to share the load, rather than taking it all on herself. She has used her knowledge of explosives and demolitions to create a modified grenade launcher called the M120 CREM. Developed as a portable weapon, it's similar to other explosive breaching tools used by American and Israeli armed forces. The M120 CREM is capable of breaking through doors without the need of destroying hinges or locks. It fires a devastating breach round from a distance, which automatically detonates after burrowing into nearly any kind of barricade.
When you mix fuel, metal oxide, and metal powder in just the right way, it burns at 2,000 degrees Celsius. Hot enough to cut through nearly any barrier known to man. Throw some C4 into the mix, and you've got one hell of a combination.
Jordan Trace, codenamed Thermite, is an attacking operator in Team Rainbow. Thermite joined the Corps straight out of high school, making him a 4th-generation Marine. Following his first tour of Iraq, he obtained enough experience to volunteer as an explosive ordnance disposal technician. After his second tour of Iraq, Thermite returned to the US, enrolled at Texas A&M University, and earned a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. He brought his experiences and skills to the FBI, where he spent 4 years as a field agent with the Hazardous Materials Response Unit. Seeking more variation, Thermite transferred to the FBI SWAT, where he excelled at developing new barricade protocols. He was then recruited into Rainbow, where he has shown further interest in research and development. Thermite is disciplined and orderly, and yet oddly enough still enjoys a good practical joke, and oftentimes can come across as a bit of a class clown. He is well liked by the others. He has excellent communication when he chooses to use it. He also demonstrates a lot of strong and clever leadership skills. Unfortunately, he often plows ahead without thought. However, there's a lot going on behind his smile, and he needs to learn how to balance his work and private life separately. Thermite recently lost his sister to cancer, and a few years prior, his mother passed away. With their passing, he has struggled to keep his emotions in check and to channel his thoughts and energy, which is something he's not accustomed to. Because of this, he uses humour as a smokescreen to hide his deep underlying grief that he has yet to come to terms with. Fortunately, he doesn't show any obvious signs of stress, and instead chooses to channel his negative energy into something positive, like his research and development lab. However, he does need to learn how to step away from his role as an operator from time to time. Thermite comes equipped with a unique exothermic breach charge gadget that can easily melt through tough walls and barricades. Developed by FBI SWAT engineers, the Brimstone was designed to breach reinforced locations, utilizing a compact and portable explosive load that can deliver maximum destruction. Firstly, the charge burns through the barrier, then detonates with the use of C4. Miles Campbell, codenamed Castle, is a defending operator in Team Rainbow. He graduated from California State University with a bachelor's degree in science and criminal justice. He then promptly joined the Los Angeles Police Department. After 5 years on the job, he was assigned to the LAPD SWAT, where he excelled, and after 3 years, transferred to the FBI. He spent 2 years as an FBI field agent, and not long after, his career took its natural progression and he was assigned to the FBI SWAT team. Castle is generally known as a nice, easygoing guy, and among the other Rainbow operators, he's referred to as Papa Bear or the Diplomat, and is considered to be the team's social glue. This and his openness means that Castle can be grouped with any member of Team Rainbow in the field. With his exceptional knack for putting people at ease, he always appears to be comfortable regardless of the situation. His sense of fair play is clear, both in his personal and professional life. His perception of his job is that he is there to protect those who can't protect themselves. He is constantly striving to make others around him feel safe and are taken care of, especially those closest to him. Beyond his sense of justice, he has a desire to transform things for the better. This is what motivates him. Castle is also a hopeful person and believes in the potential of people, all people, and wants to be the agent of change. His parents, who have been married for 42 years, are still madly in love. They are playfully loyal and kind to each other, and this is the sort of positive energy that he tries to emulate with others. In fact, he's so concerned for others that he oftentimes may be overlooking his own needs. Castle's special skill set focuses around the defensive tactics and intelligence. He has a deep appreciation for other cultures, and in his spare time studies languages. He is proficient in Spanish, Latin, and Korean. In his earlier years while working with the FBI SWAT, Castle found himself in the middle of a hostage extraction, where he became cornered in a small outbuilding. Utilizing what was available to him, he made a crude blockade from a discarded blanket and a staple gun he found in the shed. This allowed him to limit the line of sight to enemy snipers and remain concealed until backup arrived. This experience inspired the creation of the UTP-1 Universal Tactical Panel, a lightweight barricade that has been successfully utilized in FBI SWAT operations since its implementation in 2013.
In a life-threatening situation, the average person's heartbeat can be upwards of 175 beats per minute. A well-trained tango is able to stay cool, keep calm. Their heart rates can be 70 to 100 beats per minute. But by the time I'm done, that number goes down to 0.
Jack Estrada, codenamed Pulse, is a defending operator in Team Rainbow. Born on Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, Pulse was raised on bases across the US and internationally, in Germany, Turkey, and Japan. His father was a pilot, and his mother was a classified senior intelligence officer. Pulse demonstrated brilliance for science at an early age, and was quickly moved into an advanced curriculum. As a result of the constant relocation from base to base, Pulse was fascinated by the microscopic variances that comprise identity. He became adept at recognizing facial expressions and depicting a person's history based on their speech patterns and physical attributes. His focus on forensic science and biochemistry made him the perfect fit for the biometrics program in the FBI, which he joined as the youngest intern. He secured a role as an agent and was soon recruited into SWAT, working both in the field and the FBI lab. Pulse's high emotional intelligence led him to join the FBI's hostage rescue team, where he excelled at crisis management and negotiation tactics. His knowledge of behavioral biometrics led him to the creation of the cardiac sensor, along with several other prototypes which he continues to refine. During operations, Pulse keeps his cool and consistently maintains sound judgment. Yet at the same time, you'd struggle to find anyone with as much positive energy and enthusiasm. He has a range of interests, from biology to fighter jets to scuba diving. He often jokes of becoming an astronaut. He is excited by the idea of exploration and the concept of alien life forms. Pulse's fascination with biology and chemistry started when he was a child. It was his mother that first noticed how good he was at deconstructing others. She encouraged free thinking and let him decide the path of his academic studies. Life is a sense of adventure, and Pulse is ready to grasp it all. But even under the most extreme conditions, Pulse puts his team first. Naturally, they all speak very highly of him. Pulse says it's the caliber of his teammates that makes him so dedicated. While working on the FBI biometrics program, Pulse developed a portable device capable of tracking a suspect's blood flow and heartbeat. The portable cardiac sensor proved a useful, non-invasive interrogation tool, as the operator was able to monitor the stress level of the suspects and reliably determine their truthfulness. The sensor was then equipped with a higher resolution screen and programmed to determine the relative distance of the targets. The modified cardiac sensor was successfully implemented into the FBI SWAT team's surveillance countermeasures, where sniper spotters and negotiators have effectively used the device to locate hostiles behind cover or from a secure location. And that about sums it up. I'll continue in my mission of picking up as much as I possibly can of the stories of Rainbow Six Siege, and eventually I can start to speculate on the possible crossovers between this and the other Tom Clancy games I cover. Thank you again to Dranius for helping me out with this title, where admittedly I'm not as strong, and a huge special thank you to Harding Stevenson, who provided me with a hell of a lot of information regarding the R6 Siege story. We're talking hundreds of images. Anyway, if you've made it this far, please give kudos to Harding and Dranius in the comments. And thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!